We also have specular lighting in this, although this is so amazingly subtle that most people just don't even see it. As an observation, specular lighting is really just a hack. I mean, it is a complete gross hack that is unfortunately presented in most textbooks as like the logical way to do vertex lighting. All specular lighting is trying to do, when you get right down to it, is show you a reflection of a round light source somewhere. And that's just not very accurate when you have square light sources, things like that. So all specular lighting really is just a really bad implementation of environment mapping. Its only real advantage is that you can have dynamic lights moving around. And you can have the scene moving around and things like that without introducing obvious discontinuities between what you're seeing in an environment map and what's actually going on around you. Which, by the way, for our environment map stuff, we're just looking for the general chrome effect. We're not actually, we don't want you to necessarily be able to walk up to an environment object, look in it, and suddenly realize that someone's running up behind you, because we don't feel that's necessarily a first-order gameplay thing. So our specularity is encoded in the alpha channel of our texture. So higher alpha basically means that that specific texel is really, really shiny and will reflect back a lot of light. If it's black, it means it's really dull and diffuse. Our color iterator, as we're rendering for our RGBA, stores the generated specular light value in the iterated alpha. So then what we do is we do that particular rendering equation. So if you look at the left half, it's basically the same thing that happens with regular everyday light maps, source times dest. So you're going to have the exact same thing as diffuse light maps. But on top of it, you're also going to have dest times source alpha. Destination at this time should just be your light map color. There won't be any texture in it. It'll just be your light map color. Source alpha will be your diffuse textures, your non-light map textures, alpha value, which is your specularity, times the incoming, because it's being modulated, times your incoming alpha value. And our specular lighting equation is just basically our, the generic specular lighting equations you see in most textbooks. So what happens is that it will add a fraction of the light that was stored in the light map again on top in order to sort of saturate things. And it is view dependent. For our models, we do a very similar thing, but what we do is we do two-pass rendering, and we render the model gros shaded only, no texture on it at all. I mean, we use the white texture effectively. Then we use that sort of like a virtual light map for the model, and then go do the same thing that we did before.